Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the kickoff to a brand new series where I am curating makeup bags based off of a specific style or aesthetic. So today's makeup bag is going to be curated for the minimal and clean makeup look. I curated this makeup bag to contain every single product that you need from start to finish. This makeup bag is actually pretty similar to my personal everyday makeup bag. It's maybe slightly more minimal, but I thought that this was the perfect place to start since this is probably the closest to my personal style. I hope you guys are gonna enjoy. I'm pretty excited about the series and I hope that you are too. Hit the thumbs up button if you are. It's a good way to let me know that you wanna see more, and subscribe if you wanna see more videos like this, and let's get right into it. Before we even jump into the makeup bag, let's actually define what the clean and minimal makeup look actually means. And I think that the definition of what this look means definitely differs person to person. So this is my own personal definition of this look. Clean and minimal makeup aesthetic to me is really focused on skin. And it's not necessarily like a light coverage makeup look. I think that that's what a lot of people will automatically associate with this type of style of makeup, but the skin always looks really fresh and slightly glowy, and it just has this like really nice natural appearance whether or not you use light or full coverage foundation. I also associate a lot of creams with this type of aesthetic, and very minimal on the eyes, maybe just a little bit of like a glossy lid. So with that said, let's open up this bad boy. And let's start off first with the base products, because like I said, those are the most important. And the very first product that I included in this makeup bag is actually a skincare product, and it is a moisturizer. Now this one is the Grown Alchemist Hydro Repair Day Cream, and this is just one of my personal favorite moisturizers to wear underneath my makeup, but honestly, any ultra hydrating, lightweight moisturizer is perfect. Now, I included this moisturizer in place of a primer. And the reason why I did that is because I feel like primers are more of like a nice to have product and not necessarily a necessity. And because this is also more of like a minimal makeup bag, I try not to go overboard with including products that I didn't feel were completely necessary to include. Primers are one of those things that are nice to add to your makeup routine because they can do a lot of really great things. But at the end of the day, if you really just want to set your base up for success, the best thing to do is just to have a hydrating base. Your makeup will last longer, it will just look better overall, and especially if you're going for that like very hydrated, juicy, fresh looking skin, freshly moisturizing your skin before going in with like the rest of your makeup, it's the key, makes the biggest difference in the world. So this is a must to have, and this replaces any primer that I would include in this makeup bag. So for foundation, it was a little bit tricky because obviously it's impossible for me to include something that will suit absolutely everybody. So take this less as like a product recommendation and more so as a type of product that I would recommend, and choose what you feel would work best for your skin type and like the products that you've experienced yourself. So I would recommend having not one, but 2 different types of skin tints. And I was actually debating on whether or not I should include more than one because like I said, this is supposed to be a minimal makeup bag, but I genuinely do feel like having 2 really covers all of your bases. So the first base product would be a tinted SPF. This is my personal favorite tinted SPF. It's the Alastin Skincare Hydrating Pro Mineral Sunscreen. This is like the perfect one and done type of product. It's your SPF and it's also your skin tint in one. To me, this is like the perfect amount of coverage where it doesn't really add even coverage. It kind of just adds this like layer of tint that kind of blurs the redness, and it also gives a little bit of a glow. So it gives that nice like fresh, dewy finish. I feel like the epitome of a look like this or this type of aesthetic is something that's like simple and easy, and I feel like this allows your makeup routine to be simple and easy because it's a 2-in-1. It's easy to slap on. Like whenever I use this product, I just apply it with my fingers, and it still gives me like a really nice finish to my skin where it feels like I have something, but it also not too much. And I just love this. So any type of like tinted SPF product is a great addition. And then of course I wanted to include an actual skin tint. This is the Chanel Le Beige Touche de Teint Water Fresh Complexion Touch foundation. And the reason why I personally included this one in particular is because this is a very versatile skin tint. I can wear this day to day. I can also wear this at night, and it will always, no matter what, give me such a fresh, natural look to my skin. I can apply like a teeny tiny little amount and just like blend it in with my fingers, and it just gives me like the perfect amount of coverage, a little bit of a glow. It looks super skin-like, and then I could build it up a little bit and it will give me more coverage, but it will still keep that really, really fresh look. And that's why I love this product. So really any like versatile skin tint where you feel like kind of can give you that light coverage look, but it can also be built up, but it still keeps that freshness. That's kind of what you're looking for. I also love that this isn't necessarily like a glowy foundation or a matte foundation. It's just very skin-like. And again, I feel like that's what this look is all about. So that's why I love this, and that's why I would recommend this guy. For concealer, this is another category that I kind of surprised myself by including not one, but two. Again, I was trying to keep things minimal, but I genuinely feel like these two concealers actually add something different to the routine. So first we've got a light coverage concealer, and this is the Say Hydra Beam. What I love so much about the Say Hydra Beam is that it is a very hydrating concealer, and it kind of gives this like glowy skincare like sheen to the skin. So when you apply this underneath the eyes, it doesn't look cakey or heavy. It just looks so natural and hydrating. And I feel like something like this really complements the tinted SPF. If you want to add a little bit more coverage, this is actually the exact combo that I'm wearing on my face today. I have this all over, and then I just spot concealed with a little bit of my Say Hydra Beam. I did even apply powder, and I just feel like they mesh and work so nicely together. And of course, if you want an even more minimal, like no makeup look, this is beautiful to wear on its own. And then I also included more of a full coverage concealer, and this is the Dior Forever Skin Correct. And this is like one of my all-time favorite concealers. It is so good. And I included this because I feel like you can add this onto your skin tint and kind of transform it into something even more full coverage. Let's say you put the skin tint all over your face, but you feel like you want a little bit more coverage, but you don't necessarily want to add like more layers of the skin tint. Go in with your full coverage concealer, spot conceal where you want a little bit more coverage, and you're still going to have that very lightweight look because you're not continuously layering on foundation like layer after layer. Instead, you're just putting a little bit of a full coverage product where you need it. And so things are still going to look lightweight. Also, I feel like this gives you like a third option for your base because I actually love using this concealer in particular on its own. On days that I really don't want to wear much on my face, like I'm not in the mood to put a full skin tint on, I'll spot conceal with this concealer, and it will give the illusion that I'm wearing a skin tint or that I'm even wearing like more of like a medium coverage foundation. It has this way of like making your skin look so perfected and airbrush where you apply it, and it just meshes and blends so nicely even to just skin, and even if you don't have like a foundation underneath, because it's not like overly glowy or overly matte. It's a very like skin-like finish, so it's really easy to wear this on its own. And so this just kind of adds more versatility to like the existing products in the makeup bag. For powder, Kosas Cloud Set is the perfect powder for a makeup bag like this because it is so lightweight. It's not heavy, it's not going to make you look powdery or cakey. It's simply just gonna set your makeup and like disappear like it's not even there. It tends to kind of give you your skin a little bit of like a blurring effect, a little bit of a filter effect, but in a very lightweight way. And that's why I love this. I mean, you guys know that. I would be shocked if you didn't. If you know anything about me, you know that I love the Kosas Cloud Set. I knew right away that I would include the Makeup by Mario Self Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. It's actually like a running joke at this point, the fact that I almost can't even go a video without talking about this product, and it fits in perfectly with this type of makeup aesthetic because it is like the most natural looking bronzer that you can apply. So this is a cream bronzer, but the best way to describe this is that it is translucent without being sheer. When you apply this, you can kind of see like your natural texture in your skin through it, which gives it that very natural effect, but it's not sheer. So you're not going to like be applying this and wondering why it's not showing up. Like, it'll show up and it'll give you that gorgeous bronzy look, but it will always look fresh and natural. This product also works so well, not only on top of like a skin tint, but also on bare skin, which is another reason why I wanted to include it in this type of aesthetic, because if you are going on more of like a lightweight, natural day where let's say you're just wearing concealer, you could put this on your bare skin and it will still blend beautifully, whereas a lot of cream bronzers don't necessarily work that way and you kind of need something underneath for it to melt into the skin perfectly. This works no matter what. Now, I also included a powder bronzer, and I wasn't going to do this because I didn't feel like this was totally necessary, but I do feel like a powder bronzer is a nice to have product in a makeup bag like this because you can use this in a couple different ways. Now, I would specifically include a powder bronzer that is different enough from your cream bronzer where it adds versatility to the bag and it's not necessarily too redundant. So because the Makeup by Mario bronzer is nice and warm, I included a powder bronzer that leaned more like neutral cool tone to more so like sculpt the face and not necessarily like warm it up. I feel like this type of makeup look focuses more on bronzing the skin and less on sculpting the skin. Even still, it's nice to have a powder to have that option. If you want to like add some definition to your cheekbones or even like sculpt your nose or whatever it is, this is just a nice to have. Plus, I included this mainly for the eyes, which I will get into a little bit later. I'll jump back to this, but just know that that was also a big reason as to why I wanted to include a powder bronzer. And I really like the fact that this Benefit Hoola is really nice and slim and small, so it's not going to take up too much room either. For blush, I think it's nice to have 2 different blushes in the makeup bag, both creams, of course. So I would go for something that's a little bit more neutral and subdued, and then something a little bit brighter, just to have 2 completely different options. And what's really nice about creams is that you can so easily mix them together to create kind of like a third option. So for the neutral option, I really love Nude Sticks Nudies Matte in Beach Babe. It's basically just like a brownie pink, but I find the way that this translates on the cheeks, it kind of gives like this bronzy look to the cheeks. And then for more of like a colorful, fun blush to include, I really love the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush in the shade Isla del Sol, which is obviously a orange blush. These look really scary to wear, but I promise you they're not. Really, really fun color to throw on, and you could make it look really, really wearable. Also, again, take this as like a general suggestion. It doesn't have to be an orange blush, whatever your pop of color is for you, whether that's like a bright pink or even more of like a red tone blush or like a berry blush. I would just recommend having that neutral and that pop just to give yourself that versatility. I also really love like a brighter cheek, especially with a more minimal, clean look. I just feel like it freshens it up so nicely. For highlighter, I really like the idea of having those like liquid highlighters that you can either apply on their own or layer underneath your foundation, on top of your foundation, because again, it adds that versatility. And with this type of look, I don't really see like super intense highlighters. The glow is always very, very natural. And so the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter Glow Booster is a perfect product for something like that. It comes in a bunch of different shades. This one is in the shade 2, Fair Light, and you can actually apply this on its own, and it will give you like the lightest hint of coverage. I personally don't necessarily like to do that because it just gives you a very, very glowy look. But if that's something you like, then you could totally do that. I personally like to use this underneath or on top of my skin tints or foundations. For brows, this is obviously also pretty personal depending on like how you like to fill in your brows. But for me personally, I would include 2 different brow gels and that's it. I wouldn't include a powder. I wouldn't include a pencil. With this type of look, I always feel like the brows are pretty understated. And if anything, I just find the brow hairs have really nice definition to them. I love a tinted brow gel that also kind of fills in the brows because it kind of gives you best of both worlds. It'll give you that gelled up look, but it will also give you a little bit of color and a little bit more fill to the brow. And I really love the Kosas Air Brow. And then I would also go with a clear brow gel. A little bit redundant, but I feel both do different things. So this is the Milk Kush Brow Lamination Gel, and this really gives you that like PC brow look. It also doesn't make your brows like too crunchy, and it gives like the perfect amount of holds when I'm wearing my brows right now. Kept the eye category in this makeup bag very, very simple because like I said, I don't ever really feel like the eyes are the focus in these types of looks, but it's nice to have a couple different products just to have some options. For eyeliners, I feel like for this type of look, brown eyeliner is a must just because it's so much softer than black. It's so much more wearable, and it's nice to have 2 different formats of the liner in case you want something a little bit more like dramatic and intense, or if you want something a little bit softer. So for the liquid liner, this is the NYX Epic Wear Waterproof Liner in the shade Brown. And this is just a really nice, very, very dark brown liquid eyeliner. Honestly though, like even more than a liquid eyeliner, I feel like a gel or pencil eyeliner is the better option because I feel like this is slightly more versatile. So this is the Rare Beauty eyeliner gel in the shade True Brown, and it's just like a really, really, really dark espresso brown color. The formula of this is also amazing. It glides on. It's super, 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 super long wearing. And I love using something like this on my upper lash line and kind of just smoking it out a little bit just to give like soft definition to the eyes. For eyeshadow, I've also spoken about this a ton. This is the Rowan eyeshadow palette in Mood Forever. And I love this because this has 4 different eyeshadows that kind of give you that glossy effect to the lid. I use these almost every single day, no matter what I have on my face. I almost always put one of these 2 shades like in the center of my lid to give that like just slightly wet look to the lid. It's so, 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 so pretty. Now circling back to the bronzer, another reason why I wanted to include this, like I said, was for the eyes, because I feel like it's just so good to have a neutral brown color to be able to like throw that in the lid just in case you want a little bit of definition to the eye that's still very natural looking. Using your bronzer is the best way to achieve that. Of course, mascara. This is my Tower 28 Make Waves. No rhyme or reason as to why I chose this one. This is just one of my favorite everyday mascaras. It gives you everything you would want in a mascara, I believe. Length, volume, curl, it lasts really well. It's just my like favorite. Now for the lip, I normally go so overboard when it comes to lip color, so I'm really happy that I narrowed it down to just these products, because obviously I didn't want to include anything too wild or bright, but that also doesn't mean that I didn't want to give a little bit of color to the lips. So I thought the best way to do that, to achieve like a little bit of color but also ease of use, is to include a tinted lip balm. So this is the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in the shade Poppy. They do have a couple different shades. Poppy is probably my favorite. They have one that's like more on the red tone. They have more nudie ones. This one is just so pretty because it gives like the perfect amount of color. This is beautiful for day to day. It's obviously also super hydrating. And I want to include another tinted lip balm that gave a little bit more of like a nudie color to the lip. So this is the Burt's Bees Squeezy Tinted Balm in the shade Cocoa Crush, which is delicious. It smells like chocolate, first of all, and it gives exactly that, like a nudie glossy look. So you have your hint of color, you have your hint of like nude, and then I also included a matte nude. This is the Glossier Sheer Matte Lipstick in the shade Fuzz, which is a perfect kind of like medium tone neutral nude. And I thought that this was really great because you can obviously wear this on its own. You could also layer it underneath the nude lip balm if you want like an intense glossy nude lip, or you can layer it with the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm for another type of look. I also included a lip liner, which would go with any of these. So this is MAC Strip Down Lip Pencil. It's a really great like neutral, nudie lip liner that, like I said, would go with any of these looks, and that was important to me. Like I didn't want to have multiple lip liners. And I feel like a lip liner also does transform a lip look. You can put on a lip liner and put on a lip balm and it will kind of like elevate it a little bit. So it gives you, again, that versatility. Last but not least, for the makeup products, I also did include a setting spray, which I think is always important. This is the Cali Ray Surf Proof Clean, Hydrating, and Long Wear Setting Spray. This is a wonderful setting spray, really locks in the makeup, adds a little bit of hydration, but more than anything, I just find it keeps everything on the face, especially when you have a lot of creams going on. It's nice to lock those in with a setting spray. Last but not least, I do also have the tools that I would include in this makeup bag, and I kept it very, very minimal as per the assignment. So of course we have a sponge. This is a beauty blender. A beauty blender is amazing because you can use this with literally anything, with the blush, with the bronzer, with the skin tints, whatever it is, this will blend it. So again, it just keeps things simple. You don't need like a million different brushes to apply all these things. Often I will honestly just use one sponge for my entire face, and that's it. For the bronzer, just in case you wanted to put the powder bronzer all over the face, this is just a nice to have. This is the Rephr number 22. I also included this double-ended hourglass brush. This is one of my favorite brushes. I love the fact that there's 2 in 1. They're small and fluffy, really great to set the face, so perfect for the setting powder, and then you can use the other side if you want to use the bronzer as more of like a contour powder. For the eyes, the only brush would be a fluffy brush. This is the Smith 232. I would have this for the sole purpose of putting the bronzer into my crease, because for these eyeshadows, I use my fingers all the time, and then I just kind of blend out the edges with a big fluffy brush. So this is literally all that you would need. So that is it, guys, for all of the makeup products that I would include in the minimal, clean, aesthetic makeup bag. Hope that you guys enjoyed and found this helpful. Again, don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts in the comments. What other makeup bags would you like to see me curate next? Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy today's video, and subscribe if you want to see more like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.